Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of Bitcoin, taking a look at what's been going on most recently, what we think is going to happen next and all that wonderful stuff. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, the link is in the description down below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7 and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. You'll also find a whole host of additional links in the description down below. If any of them are of interest to you, why not go give them a click. Okay, let's get on with this. We've got a lot to cover and we've got a small amount of time. This is a pre-recorded, we're not live, mainly because I've had 2 wisdom teeth taken out and I find it quite difficult to talk. So I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as I can while still giving you all the information that I think you guys are going to need before the next update. Okay, so here we have the monthly chart. We're just going to quickly recap what key numbers that we're looking at here. The key number at the moment is this 19,666 level and this monthly close. Okay, we're not there yet. Just note that we are still below this level and this level is going to be incredibly bearish should we close the monthly candle below it. It will lead us potentially down to, in my opinion, 13,888, as this is the next key monthly support level that we can see in the charts. It's not a guarantee, it's just a number that I think is an important one to be remembering. Okay, on the weekly time frame, obviously, if we were to go down to such a number, this would put us at the, or past the 1.618 level. This would basically be considered a wave 3, and that will basically mean that we'll end up with a wave 5 later. Okay, now in the middle here, there would be a wave 4, and the wave 4 would be a potential last chance, last opportunity to get out before a wave 5 comes in. We don't sell down here at this 1.618 level because a wave 4 bounce will come. So, you know, there's no point in selling down here. You'd wait for this, in my opinion, right? But do remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Can't give you financial advice, but I give you the structures and the data as I see it. And it's entirely up to you how you want to deal with that. Okay, so those are the top line numbers, right? Those are the numbers that we all want to think about, or what we want to kind of worry about. 14,600 on the weekly is going to be really, really bearish for us. On the monthly, ideally, we want to close above 19,666. However, realistically speaking, I don't think that's going to happen. If anything, we probably are going to close below this number, and I want to be wrong about 13,880. This number here is one that I definitely want to avoid for Bitcoin. Okay, that's where I want to be wrong. Okay, I think we're probably going to close below 19,666. If we don't, then we'll come up here, we'll wick down, and then we'll move up. Not sure exactly what's going on here, but this is a key pivotal moment for BTC, and I really want to avoid 13,888 if possible, as it will lead us down to $9,500, which then leads us into a multi-year bear market where we don't really go up into a new all-time high for a very, very, very long time. So we want to be really cautious about that. Okay, let's move on. We're going to jump on down into our hourly chart. Okay, so following on from where we are with our weekly and, you know, all that kind of good stuff that we were just talking about, you know, we are still technically speaking in a 3-wave structure until we hit 14,600. Okay, so 3 waves corrective. Short term, we can go up into a new all-time high under a new bullish structure and a new bull run sooner, right? 3 waves are very important. 5 waves equally important, but very bearish. Okay, so here we are with our structure at the moment. We can see that over here on the 13th of September, we saw this huge pull to the downside. I have this marked up as a wave A, B here, and then C coming down lower. But looking at it, you know, this tiny little move here, this could actually be something totally different that's going on. But I've marked this up in this particular pattern at the moment, and we'll keep a close eye on to see whether or not I need to adjust my A and B waves, as they're not the best position considering everything that's gone on here at the moment. Okay, but we'll keep a close eye on that structure. It doesn't really change too much this side. I think essentially, even if our micro kind of counts are still saying that we're coming down into this approximate area here, at least we're looking for a double bottom, in my opinion, around that 17,622. So that's the June low. We're looking for at least a double bottom there, or maybe just coming down to a new lower low, fractionally lower at 17,113.50. Okay, but all of that is subject to if I have this right. Okay, and I will say right now, there's no guarantee that this isn't a correct wave count for Bitcoin. This is just the area that looks like it might be approximately right, but it could actually be down here. And if it is here, and this is our bounce, okay, then actually we're going to be significantly lower, probably more towards the $16,000 level, okay? So subject to change depending on how things kind of play out here. As to whether I've got this bit right. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how that plays out. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious. Down, I do think we are going to go before we go up. And I do think we are going to go up in a really significant way. But before we can do that, we have to kind of finish off this move. We have to finish the structure to the downside before we can move up. Okay, so there is a move, and it's going to be reasonably significant to the upside, in my opinion. So let's talk about why I think this. So not only do we have Elliott wave theory with the structures to the downside, and we can see that within our stochastic RSI being supported, right? We saw this little move here going up, and we can see that we went from oversold to overbought. Now we're up here, we have to come back down, we have to come back to this oversold area. At least that's usually how the hourly works. It bounces around a lot more than the larger time frames. So the next move is going to be down over the course of the weekend. Now, this is probably not going to be a smooth ride this weekend. And the reason that I say this is over weekends, the volumes drop down. The volumes dropping down means the stochastic RSI moves more rapidly. And it's mainly because there's just not that much stuff actually driving in here or going into the space, right? We can see here that pretty much all this move to the upside here, the volume was dropping. And even as we start to move down, the volume still drops. This is basically telling us that there isn't really that much activity going on when it comes to BTC. Obvious, right? We're in a bear market. There is no volume during a bear market, very little volume. So knowing these things, knowing that we are in this kind of state here, I would actually expect this is going to be a drawn out, long-winded move. Now, the positive, because there is a positive here, that in doing so, if we were to slowly work our way down, and maybe it's not as low as I was thinking, maybe it's only around here at $18,000, then we take off. Okay, and the reason for this is that this time period that allows us to slowly work our way down here, but not doing anything impressive, could correct the stochastic RSI and the larger time frames all to oversold, meaning everything's lined up ready to go next week, right? So this weekend's going to be an interesting one. We're going to see a lot of volatility. Lots of kind of moving around and all that kind of stuff. On the 4-hourly chart, we can see here that we've got a nice high stochastic. Again, same problem. We need to get this down lower. Same with the 8-hour. Needs to come down lower. What we want to do is we want to bring the 1, the 4, the 8-hour and bring them down in line with our daily, because the daily chart is telling us that we're going to be moving up. Okay, now I say significant, I do expect it to be reasonably significant from this low area. It's not a guarantee, of course. You know, we can go sideways like this little gap here, for example, and then move to the downside again. I just don't think that's necessarily probable. I think we have to have some kind of relief bounce like we had in the middle here. Now, when we take a look at this from the daily perspective, we can see this move to the downside. We can see this one here, and you can see 16,700 being the 1-to-1 ratio. So if I was to take this as our ABC structure, then it does tell us that we're going to go down a little bit more than maybe what the hourly chart is telling us. So again, that's why my wave count could be slightly incorrect on the hourly chart, but you know, we'll see how things kind of play out. But for the most part here for BTC, we're all looking for some kind of move upwards from wherever we do end up going to the upside. I'm not saying it's going to be overly massive. It doesn't have to be, but I think above 20k is an area that I'll be looking for. I mean, 20k is going to be resistance. There's a lot of resistance in that range, so it's possible that that blocks us a little bit. We don't really know what it's going to look like yet either, because we haven't got a trend down here. It is all just corrective. So we could just have a trend up. We could have a corrective up. We don't know. So it could be really good. It could be really short. It could be really poor. It could be really good. We don't know. Okay, so we're going to keep a close eye on those structures. I'm not going to give you some kind of BS and say, you know, look at this. It's fantastic. We're setting ourselves up with some fantastic things. Now, I don't think that's necessarily going to be helpful, right? We see time and time again where people say, oh, look, we're setting ourselves up with some higher highs and some higher lows, right? And we're going to break to the upside. It's going to be fantastic. We're going to the moon. But realistically, that isn't going to happen. It's just going to break down. We see these time and time again, right? We see the higher lows, the higher highs, and we break down from them. But we're not seeing that here, okay? So we're not getting the breakdown structure, okay? But we are potentially seeing a breakout structure. So if I throw this on here, for example, here you can see these lower highs, and over here you can see, let me grab hold of this one, you can see here that we are setting the lower lows. Now these break upwards, so wherever this ends up going down, like I said, double bottom maybe, we're going to get a break to the upside. Okay, we're not done yet, but when we are, this is going up, not going down, in my opinion. Okay, you do get the occasional run, one of these, which is wrong. It doesn't work that way. But for the most part, you know, they're actually reasonably good. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious with that. Here's another one just over here. We can see we had some lower lows and some lower highs, and we broke to the upside. Wasn't massive though. Okay, so just be a little bit cautious. We are, of course, in a bear market, and our weekly is very bearish. But on our hourly and on our daily, we've got some moves to the upside, and we're keeping a close eye on that to figure out where they are going to be. Let's jump on down quickly into the on-chain data. Let's find out what's going on with some of the whales and things like that. So just from this dashboard page, we can see we still have problems with Bitcoin going onto exchanges. That hasn't changed. HODL waves, nothing of note in here that I can quickly see. A little bit of Bitcoin aging in places, but nothing kind of important or that's really worth noting. From our from our inflows and our outflows, we can see, you know, pretty much everything being matched up still. So demand is being equally met by supply. Nothing here is bullish, so we know that you know, bear market continues. We're not seeing huge outflows, and of course, when we start jumping down into these three wallet sizes, as in dolphins, sharks, and whales, I won't bore you with the details on those. Each of these are 90 days, but basically dolphins accumulating as the price goes down, sharks fluctuating all over the place, very unusual activity going on with these guys. And then you've got your whales aggressively coming down, still coming down. In fact, I need to adjust the time frame on this because this is actually 365 days, I think. Yeah, we just want that to be 90, so make it a little bit clearer. And we'll apply it. There you go. So here you can see even as the price moved up, they come out. There's exit liquidity for these guys. So these guys are de-risking. They're coming out of their positions rapidly. And, you know, this is big money. This isn't small money like the dolphins or the shrimps. This is your backbone to kind of Bitcoin's price, and it is bleeding hard. Okay, so people might not want to acknowledge this, they might want to ignore it or whatever, but this is a big tell. You do as they do, not as they say. You've got billionaires saying, oh, I sold my Bitcoin or I sold my stock because of this and that, but actually the main takeaway is that they sold. That's the only thing that you should hear. It shouldn't be that they need it for a lawsuit or they need it for their cash flow for their businesses, or they're looking to buy another company. The main takeaway is they sold, right? Regardless of the reasoning that they did it. And you can see this has been going on for a very long time. Okay, so just be aware they are continuing to sell on anyone else who is buying BTC at the moment. This, therefore, we have to understand that maybe the bottom isn't in, because these guys are either stupid enough to be selling the bottom or smart enough to be getting out before the bottom is in. And I'll leave that for you guys to decide which ones they are. The shrimps obviously doing what shrimps do best, accumulating, which is great. As long as these guys don't get shaken out, I'll be happy. There's a slight increase going from 904,000 wallets, 904,423 to 904,511. Slight increase as price goes up. So as long as these guys don't get shaken out, I'll be happy overall when it comes to that data. So for the most part, when it comes to BTC, my expectations are slightly down over the next little while. Okay, so probably over the next few days, we're going to be going and working our way down. After which, I'm looking for that significant bounce upwards. And that was going to come from that extreme fear moment, whether we touch 17,622, the June low, and that causes a load of people to short the market, which will then create pockets of liquidity higher. And as a result, price goes up. Or we come down into a new lower low, people trigger their short positions and panic sell, price go up. Okay, so just be cautious that this market is, it can be quite difficult at times. We've seen this quite a bit recently over the last few days with XRP, and how complicated some of these structures can be and can become. Ethereum was like this a little while back, but we were able to cut through the BS and actually kind of tell people the most probable solution based on the data, both on-chain and in the charts. Guys, I'm going to leave the video right there. If you found this useful and informative, hit the like button. I do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another video or live stream that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. Now, join us down in Discord, though, guys. We cover a lot more down in Discord, and I will catch everyone in the next one. Have a fantastic day.